So what would you say have been like the essential ingredients to the most memorable or the most successful projects that you've overseen?
One very recent that we just had the honor and pleasure of helping the client get their home updated and obviously sell it the highest possible price. That's sold. I called it my Christmas holiday project. So that one we actually, I received the keys from the clients who essentially relocated to Colorado and said, Carmen, we've seen what you've done, we know what you can do, and we trust you. Here are the keys. So throughout that process, I was able to provide transparency to our clients, my clients, in regards to recommendations from a designer, in regards to estimates for the project, and also have a calendar of when the project or each phase starts and when it finishes, all the way down to market entry, the pieces of marketing I do, and looking at the offers and how I negotiate those. This was the one that sold at 674 Island Place, and one of my favorites there too, aside from transforming this house into a showcase, which by the way brought tears to the seller's eyes, but also the marketing was incredible. It was the rave of the neighborhood. I think no one else could do any better than the marketing team. So all that together, we had fun with it. We got it done. The client's happy. The buyers are, ecstatic. That's what it takes.
And so I want to hear a little bit more about Island in a moment, but I want to maybe ask you to indulge me kind of on that question again about essential ingredients. So let's think about the long arc of your career. It sounds like transparency is a mark of working with Carmen Miranda. It sounds like a certain kind of like pursuit of like joy and fun and sort of making sure that these things feel good for all people, including yourself. What are some other kind of core ingredients that you'd say are kind of like themes for how you approach projects, and then when you look back at the ones that have been, what are the
Rewarding.
patterns, maybe those essential ingredients that show up?
Well, Falana, I actually take every facet of what I do very seriously. So everything from researching the probable values and also providing recommendations that uh, allow my clients and myself to feel comfortable that they will get that investment back and then some. Bring it down to the details of making sure that the features of the property is represented, and also from down to the materials that are used, down to how the property is different from other homes, and respect to the neighborhood. Um, we're creating a story for the buyers because a lot of buyers are relying on the internet, and I think sometimes the internet doesn't have that story. So, basically giving that kind of detail gives individuals that comfort that they are buying something of value. And also, my sellers, in that case, also felt proud of their home. And it was just a win win situation all the way around.
That's great. Thank you. So now let's talk a little bit about 674 Island. I gather that this was a really epic project for you, and it sounds really interesting. I'd like to hear a little bit about what the initial like challenge or brief was that came to you from the seller. Like, I gather they trusted you, they already knew you, they were happy to hand you the keys and say, go for it. But what were they hoping for? What were they, what were you initially tasked with, like trying to do for them?
So, the initial task that I was basically put on was to ultimately get them the highest possible price.